So Nargis, welcome back. How have you been? I have to ask you to mute. How about now? How are you, Nargis?
Oh, hi, good morning, Dale. Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh,
How are you?
good. Glad to have you back.
I know.
So, I think we missed one, or I hope your son is doing well. Much health to you guys. What's top of mind when it comes to the markets here, Nargis?
So I don't think I'm sharing.
No,
Can
sure.
Okay.
It's a green button.
Desktop share.
There we go.
Can you
Yeah, but I see a Discord. Okay, now we see this. Okay, the Twitter. I mean the X. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll just. I know we missed the last one, and I'm sorry for that. A lot of chaos was going on, and I kind of screwed up the time in another time zone. So sorry about that. So let's go back to this picture I had from last year, I think. So this is where on the black line we fell 34.91, and from there XPX reversed back, and we did not got this, but so this was where my curiosity was, why this W structure is placed here versus anywhere else, here or somewhere else. And this 34.91 also marks the 50% retracement from this low to high. So it went back above 50%. So having just giving a reminder of this structure, let's go back to where we are now currently. So this is ES I have, and this was the black line I had drawn, which marks the around 85% retracement. And currently it hit that, and we are still in a thinking mode what it wants to do. So this was your W structure. From here it went back all the way to 85% retracement, and I had these three boxes where it just gave me mentally a good idea about where the price is in terms of these boxes.
Yeah, that 4,200 level. Do you think we're going to retrace back to it?
So this is what I think. The price has spent a lot of time in this range, right? So here it was, this kind of a head and shoulder kind of a structure, and this area kind of mimics that. And the time spent is almost around the same here. So if at all it wants to fall back or pull back from this solid black line, then this structure, at least at first, it will provide a good support or good demand in order to hold it. Yeah. Now, again, just like why this was placed here, I am thinking, why would it, just out of curiosity, why it would spend so much time here, going sideways for a long time, building a lot of demand. So if price wants to come back and test it, what would this mean in terms of short term and long term, right? Would this mean that price wants to come down, test this zone, hammer it again solid, and then go back up and break here? So because right now only this small head is left to test back, right? And ES, as we all, at least in my experience, what I've seen is it likes this much retracement, and that's why I had put a black solid line, because that marks 80 to 85% retracement, and that's generally its sweet spot. So if that's the case, then two things can happen. Number one, it comes down and it tests this zone and it's happy, it tested back and goes back up and breaks through here. So either it tests very close to the all-time high or makes a new all-time high, or this is a bearish ABC and it comes down, tests the 2020 and much lower in this megaphone, right? So that's the possibility. And right now we are at a decision point, and it is possible it may take its sweet time, just like it takes its sweet time, confusing everyone what's going to happen, and probably do nothing. It could be range bound for quite some time. So this is what we want to keep an eye on. Is it range bound? If it is coming down, what would this represent? And if it is reversing back from here, what would that represent? So these are the three things I'm watching for overall
Okay.
in
So,
terms of XPX.
okay. So that monthly pin bar low, it looks like August, the low of August.
This one?
That's important. No, just last month, that one. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
this one, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that low is what, 4,300? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
4,350.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
so it
that
just
looks
fell
like
on
the
this.
first, that would be your first important negative signal if we take that out.
Yes, negative signal, then it would fall on in the blue box,
Yeah.
somewhere on the blue box. And then depends on, on a smaller time frame, we'll see how the demand is built between layers. Here it's more congested, but a smaller time frame will give a lot of layers, basically. So somewhere in the blue box, it would like it. Once it leaves the blue box, there's a good chance this area would be exposed. So one by one, your areas will start getting exposed.
Okay.
Then your other thing is, your wicks as well. So one of the things which, yes, one of the things which is happening is wicks never took out that 35, 37 range, even though we were going lower, and now it is back to this 13 area, right? 14 to 13. Yeah. And this line has been supporting for a very long time. And few times it is tested this 9 and 8, right? Which
Years
is very, which is very less time, but still is. Suppose it goes below this aqua line, then this would be a. But one of the interesting thing to note is the moment it comes here to in this zone, it gets a big spike. It generally gets a big spike. Okay. It may die down after some time, but it does get a 10 to 15 points bounce. So that's another interesting thing to see. It is again coming into that range. XPX is in your inflection zone. Then will this combination, your TNX is also in that, where it's high, and it's trying to break out this whole. Actually, you know what? The 3 months give a better picture because there's a lot of candles. It's kind of currently sitting here. The moment it crosses that line, we have your treasuries going up, and right now your oil is up, your Dixie, the dollar is up, your TNX is up, your index is up, your VIX
you're
is
pretty
low.
good at future, at forecasting the potential of future prices down the line. I'm wondering what you have as far as this dollar, because the Dixie from when it bottomed at 99.5 hasn't even had one decent pullback.
Yes, so 99, so it just kind of honored that 100, the mental, this thing, and it came back up. So as of now, just like XPX, I'm seeing that it is also retracing back. Now it is above this, this purple line where it was, I had this demarcation that it would be in the bullish territory, but it did not come back and test this zone as well. So currently it is above this structure, above this structure. So it is bullish, but is it a retest going until 107, 111 area up till here? And then what happens, right? As long as it is above 101, or rather above this line, it's good to retest up. 107 to 111 is a good contention zone for it. And it never tested this 121, this top structure. So I would be very interested to see what happens in this, few points range from here. It's already 100 and close to 105. So, 106, 107 to 111. Will that be another inflection for it, or it would, go back and test is this 121 area? So as of now, I'm thinking, which one is going to give in? Your oil is also in the retrace up mode. it's 85, 38%. I know I heard somebody said 38%, and absolutely right. $87 is 38% retracement. And the moment it goes above it, you have 91, 97, 104. These are the congestion zone for your oil to test back down. But as long as it is above 77, it is in a bullish territory. And as long as that is in a bullish territory, you have your inflation talks come back in. Oil is high, then everything else becomes going high, costly. Everyday living starts becoming costly. Your inflation story comes back up. Your interest rate stories come back up. The whole question is, up till now, what is stopping the Fed from aggressively, going up on the interest rates versus being, calmed down? If we are living from FOMC to CPI, those are your two reaction points, and
Yeah.
S&P is behaving well within the bounds of the expectation of what Fed wants to lay out. So for me right now, we are at an inflection zone, and something has to give in the next few months. Basically, either S&P is going to fail, and that bearish ABC is going to work out to the downside, or your oil and TNX and Dixie is going to see a move down, making your that melt up theory come back in, making at least testing the high around 47 to 4800, or even a good 5185 was my midpoint to the cycle. So that's the can it do that? Because market, what in my small experience, I'm not as haven't seen that many seasons like you, but whatever I've seen is this beast is very tricky, right? It likes to throw people off. If that is the case, then even if it goes till 5185, it could be a crooked ABC, but it could still work out to the downside. So I'm still thinking that if it really wants to confuse the heck out of people, why not do that 5,000, 5,200, that 5185, that half cycle till 7569. 50% is 5185 from 4489. So that's why your 4489 is to live by for me right now, where the price is with respect to that number. Above it, then you still have your price going a little bit bullish until it cannot sustain this black line. So this black line is currently the this side or that side for me, and 4489 is my cycle number. So as long as price is behaving between these two, I would still think that it want to test this upper zone to a little bit higher zone. And later, still this ABC would want to work out.
It become an irregular ABC with the
Yes,
V being
irregular
above
ABC.
that high. Okay. All right. I could see that happening. That would confound most people and have everyone bullish. Regarding your VIX call, I think the DSI on the VIX last week, it was single digits, meaning no one likes the VIX right here. There's probably more stock bears, but even stock bears that have bought the VIX are discouraged.
Yeah, the VIX, I mean, if you're going long, I mean, if you're going straight on VIX, like a call or something, these generally don't reward you unless you are really, really out in time, because the whole idea is to take your money. And I generally personally like to play it the opposite side. When the VIX has risen very well into, whatever, then shorting is far more, let's just say, less tedious than going long on it, because your indices can fall and all the chaos can still be there, but the fear index would still not be enough to spike it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So the money is
everyone's getting used to it too. It almost makes me think that one day it's just going to jam everybody, because people are pretty confident selling volatility because it's worked, and it's worked for a long time. So it's recency bias, but it had a lot of recency. So anyway, that's an interesting looking chart. You have any view on metals? Are probably like the dollar?
Yes. Dollar we just talked, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just just oops, my lines. I don't know why my lines get crooked.
Yeah. Okay, so even though dollar, that's what I mean. It's hard to find someone who says, you know what, we're going to take out that high at 114. That wasn't the top. That's a
Yes.
real big minority opinion. I don't hear anyone but, guys that are looking for this, super bull moves in the dollar because of the shortage of dollars, the milkshake theory that the dollar is going to go up because there's a shortage of dollars compared to what's needed to service dollar denominated debt.
Yeah. So far, I would still say this is a retrace up, and as long as it's this purple line where the dollar is with respect to purple line, it will denote for me it's bullish or not bullish.
Okay.
Now it's going above it, and then testing the structure above this structure, it would test this, and you have this. I think this must be what 50% or so from this to this. Once it goes over this 120, approximately 120, 118, 121. There could be, I don't know, you may be knowing better what happens when Dixie is so high. Could be a chaosy world around us.
Yes, that would be most likely be the backdrop.
Yes.
Okay, there's your gold.
Yes, the gold, it's not able to take out this 21 zone, right? 2100. This 3 times it has hit. The question is, will 4th time be the charm? Okay. So, but it is still honoring this zone up till now, 1900. So it is roaming between 1900, 2000, more of a 2000 versus above 2000. So 1900 to 2000, either it gets below 1900 or it actually wants to settle above 2000. And 4th time, I was trying to see the distance, the timing distance, and it is decreasing, and I feel there is a correlation between this. The next time, if it wants to hit 2100, should come faster, based on this time distance. Maybe October, November, maybe the later part of the year. Probably, if that happens, then I'm hoping this time it breaks 2100. Otherwise, it has to.
Do you see the potential of move back down? We take out your first red line down to 1800.
Yes, it can do that. It can very well do that, because at some point it has to decide whether it can't stay in this silo forever. So if it is not going above 2000 or not staying above 1900, basically 1937, then the only way for it to do that is come back to this mid 1700s to 1700s. That is again the point. Assuming, I mean, it's a crooked structure still. If it wants to do a cup and handle, the handle is far away up on the top of the cup, basically. So this structure, this flat area, should resolve to something. So so that's what I'm just marking it, above 1900 or below 1900 for now, in a bullish or bearish territory. Above 1900, still a potential to take out, the hit 4th time towards 2100, basically. That's what I'm thinking. And
you following the US dollar yen at all?
I just see it in terms of what it's doing. Isn't like yen up bullish for the markets? I mean, it used to be, right? The correlation used to be better for the S&P, right?
Yeah. And it's pretty connected to yields too.
Yeah, yields too, yes. So this is, I mean, you guys are so much better at currencies. I won't put my foot there where, not needed, but, this is a kind of a base forming above the base. It's, you have quite a bit to go, actually. And
so that's a big breakout area, 150.
Yes, 150, 152.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah. So
anything else you want to share with us today?
Sorry, what?
Anything else you want to share with us today?
Yes. So
NVIDIA,
there's a lot of talk about NVIDIA, right? what
Yeah.
it's doing, what's happening, some conspiracy theories also around the corner. So this Nvidia, it did had a higher cycle. It went to 100, 108 or something. 108 was the low. So basically, it was matching up. It was matching up. The correlation is, if you go here, it's just matching up to these candles basically, and this candle is also a correlation of these candles, and the price is around 463. That's the correlation, 50% of these candles basically, and that's where it's hovering and trying to decide what it wants to do. It hit 500, and then it sold off. The good thing is this 485 is your cycle number, and currently it is vibrating around there. Now, whatever the talks which happens, what I've noticed is generally the bigger talks about doom or gloom starts happening when a major cycle is reached. That happens with the S&P, that happens with the Boeing, that happened with Netflix, that happened with a lot of stuff. And NVIDIA is also, we're seeing the chatter. The recent chatter is about conspiracy, right? Whatever, somebody acquired X billions and all that stuff. So that's, in my opinion, all the power of, the major inflection coming into play. Now, as long as this 485 is treated well, in a range 441 to 485, 529, this range is treated well. This has a potential to go to 850 to 1157. Okay, so that's your upper cycle. But if it fails around here, then it can come back all the way to this 100, or even the lower area. So that's why how it
Or
is
how
being
about at
treated.
least to the top of the red candle in between the two
Yes,
greens? That would fill
yes,
the gap, I think, at 300.
yes. The 346 or some, this 303. I think the gap is around, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong. And this is your previous all-time high, and it hasn't tested that as well.
yeah.
Generally, that's a good hammering test. Stocks do, but straight lines are a thing for us these days from the past few years. So it doesn't matter. It can still do a few more green candles, and it would still be okay. So I wouldn't personally think, or rather, be very bearish or very bullish right now, because again, it's in a magnetic field, and until it decides, it's nothing is happening. Just like ES is, S&P can go sideways for a very long time. Just it did, when we were below. This can do the same thing. Your Apple also, 193 to 197 was my target. It hit that. It hit what, now 198, and happily came back. And it tested the previous cycle high 169, and 183 was your new future cycle, pointing it to 361 future price. So again, as long as it is above 169, and your 169 to 193 zone is being respected, the trajectory towards 361 is still on. The only thing, the beauty, what I was thinking is, when the in 2021, 2022, when the market had made a new high, and all the stocks, or rather the market moving stocks, your FANGs and some other good percentage in the index stocks had fired a higher cycle, Apple was the only one it didn't fire. It did not do that 183. It went till 183, but left 7 cents on the table. And I was looking for 183 and 1 cent, so that it could reset the future cycle to 361. And Apple was the only one which didn't do. It went back, the whole market pulled back, and we went, the whole of 2022 was down, and only in October we started bottoming out. And after that, Apple hit 183. It took out that high and reset its cycle to higher. So that again, I'm thinking, why would Apple do that in that peculiar manner where all other stocks had already done it, indices had done it, and this guy was the only one who did it this way. After the pullback, or rather the crash, or whatever you call it, it came back and reset its cycle. What does that mean? Is I'm trying to solve, and that gives me a little bit skeptic, or rather keeps me skepticalish. I don't know if I said it right, but skepticalish,
Skeptical.
bullish.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, bullish. That if it is done it so late in the game, does it mean that ES may just probably come back, test this zone, and then fire back up? So Apple doing this way, that could be one explanation. Unless and until everything happens, we don't know if that explanation was right or not. But I'm just trying to lay out what everything else would mean, the clues basically, what those clues would mean, so that at least it doesn't put me in the wrong side of the market.
Okay, under 170, what would that lead to?
That would lead to a lot of then it opens this zone. Your 100 and 136 was its important level. It shouldn't breach. I'll have to check what that number is. It may be off by a few points, but once that number is gone, Apple can be tata bye-bye for some time. This was the area, this was the target 81 I had for a very long time, and this keeps popping back up, even though after the pre-split, this number keeps showing up. So there can be a mystery why it keeps showing up again and again. So that's why I have marked this zone, and this zone for important inflections.
That's
and
where it would be. That's where it would be if China invaded Taiwan. Probably in a few days. Anyways, if China invaded Taiwan, yeah, probably have a market holiday,
definitely,
wouldn't
because then just think where Nvidia would be and all the rest of the semis would be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
great to catch up with you.
Yeah, you too, Dale.
I mean, really nice looks and ideas and inflection points that we're at, and appreciate your work, Nargis, and glad to get back together with you and have a date here on Face.
I know. Oh yes, we are at the highs, Dale, again, and we had a date. So let's see. And we just had the super moon. We are having the retrograde right now. 2-3 planets are retrograding. Let's see what the next 2-3 days brings. That's generally buying put time for us.
Okay.
You and me.
All right, Nargis. Well, I hope everything's okay. Much health to your family and prosperity, and we'll talk this winter.
Thank you so much, Dale, and have a nice day, and same to you as well.
All right. Nargis, follow Nargis on Twitter at Nargis with 2 R's. There it is, 007. And her following is growing. And you have a YouTube channel now. So you could go watch her work on YouTube as well.
Yes, that has a much more detailed work with charts and everything to see. So, my thoughts.
Yeah. All right. So she has no axe to grind. She's out there helping people. And appreciate your giving spirit, Nargis. Thank you very much, my trading warrior sister.
Thank you.
All right. So that's a wrap. You follow Nargis at Nargis007. You could join the team in 15 minutes on the morning edge. Good hunting, everybody. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. You're welcome, Sinatra, Gary. People are thanking you, Nargis. They're blessing you. What else? How much better can your week start off with people blessing you? All right. So I'll see everyone for Turnaround Wednesday. Adios, everybody. Thank you, Nargis.
Thank you.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Forex Analytics. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.